Today I want to make 3 important announcements about the future. The future for me, the future for my boat, which is behind me in Buren Bay, and the future of this channel, Pacific Solo. And also want to share with you a treat at the end that pertains to all of this, an award-winning film. So stick with me. Thanks for watching. But before I share with you the 3 announcements, I need to go back 6 years very briefly and with a flashback of 3 announcements I made at my 64th birthday. First announcement was I was going to step down as CEO of the NGO I had founded. Secondly, I was not going to retire, but rather return to writing. And thirdly, I wanted to buy a sailboat, learn how to sail her, and cross the Pacific solo from Japan to Canada before I was 70. So 6 years on, I'm still afloat, and I've realized some of those goals. We did find a wonderful success in Hope International Development Agency. He's doing a grand job. Secondly, I did return to writing and speaking, although not at the most convenient of times during COVID. And the consultancy I started called Navigate 22 has morphed into the Never Too Late Academy. Thirdly, I did buy a boat. I did move on board her in June 2019. The year after I bought her, I left Tokyo for the last time and have been sailing slowly around Japan ever since. Over 80 ports, meeting amazing people, wonderful encounters, learning a lot about the boat and me. But I have not sailed solo across the Pacific Ocean. That will not happen. That will never happen for reasons outlined in other videos, reasons related to both me and reasons related to the boat. As I've turned 70, I had a new horizon to consider. What am I going to do the next 10 years of my life? And so I came to certain conclusions, and I want to share those conclusions with you now about me, about the boat, and about the channel. Number 1, about me. I've decided to cruise less and write more. I'm on my 10th book now called A Journey Beyond the Blue Zone, and I've got some more books I'd like to rewrite and write over the next few years of my life. So I've decided to be spending less time in passage mode and more time in writing mode. Secondly, what about the boat? Wahine is staying in Amami. She'll become the southern base for the Never Too Late Academy. She remains my writing room. I had put her up for sale. I spent a year in Okinawa, so she was in close proximity. Potential buyers could view her. Technically, she's still up for sale, but Wahine and I have moved. I'm often asked the question, where's your favorite place in Japan to sail? And it's always difficult to answer because there's so many. As I was leaving Okinawa in March to sail leg 1 of my journey up the Japanese archipelago during cherry blossom season, and we arrived a couple weeks later here in Amami, where I'd spent 8 months previously moored and cruising. As I sailed into the Amami island chain, I realized this is the answer to the question. From a sailing point of view, this is number 1. And on top of that, a mooring buoy that my friend Mitsu helped me cope with the typhoon a couple of years ago when I was here, and mooring buoys are prized possession. So I've just decided to stay. Wahine is no longer in passage mode. She will be staying in the Amami Islands. And thirdly, the news about this channel. Yes. Howdy. Back on board. Had to do a quick errand to the shore. It's about 350 rows from the middle of Buren Bay here. Okay, in case you've fast forwarded to this part, I'm on to the 3rd announcement about this channel. Let me just summarize in case you jump forward. Announcement about me. I'm going to cruise less and write more for the next decade of my life. Secondly, Wahine is now going to be based in the Amami Islands. She's got her own mooring buoy here in the middle of Buren Bay, where I am now. But thirdly, what about this channel? Well, Pacific Solo Channel was started at the same time as my Pacific Solo Quest. I did it initially to leave a legacy for my grandson. And although the channel has never been big, it did gather a following of fellow Never Too Laters, people who called themselves that after one of my books called Never Too Late, 10 Tips to Change the Course of Your Life, which I wrote many years ago and became my manual for my new audacious goal. And I'm grateful to all of those who have followed me over the years. The channel grew very slowly. There was some obligation to sponsors as well, but I had made a commitment to generate content that they could use in their social media. And it's become cathartic for me. Ryan Seal, who's a great filmmaker, helped me in the early episodes. I learned a lot from him, but then I took over all the work myself, the camera work, the editing, and really posting on a whim rather than with any strategy to grow the channel. And it grew slowly and steadily over 5 years to about 5,000 subscribers. But a year ago, when it was decided that there's no way I could cross the ocean, even crew on another boat, which I had attempted with my friends Tyler and Julia from Hawaii, and because of my medical condition, that had to be aborted. I had to greatly inconvenience them to bring me back to an island in Hawaii. Ever since then, and I kind of admitted failure, and I've really been more focused on Japan, suddenly the channel has surged. It's still very much a small channel, but as of recording this, I think I'm about 500 shy of 20,000. So I am grateful for all those who have followed me over the years and for the new arrivals as well. So in light of my focus now on writing, and particularly writing for the Never Too Late Academy and that community of people, and also in light that we're not trying to cross an ocean solo anymore, and Wahine is being decommissioned from that mode and is now I'm a Liveaboard, and it's my writing room, and will be a base for Never Too Late Academy events with members, etc., and just be cruising locally. So what shall I do with the channel? Well, I've decided to keep the channel. I am grateful for it from a cathartic process for me and obligation to those who are watching me. People I have in mind when I do these videos, it is fellow Never Too Laters. Thank you. My analytics show who you are. So continue with the Never Too Late theme and support a community of Never Too Laters who just want a bit of inspiration, fun, light relief. The other people the channel is aimed at is, of course, people interested in Japan generally. I think that's been part of the reason for the growth of the channel in recent months. So Japan will continue to be a focus. A very niche element within that, which I'm very committed to, is incoming cruisers. There's not many of them. Those numbers are growing. But I'm very happy to share whatever knowledge I have from the 80 ports I've been in. And I think to help cruisers avoid some mistakes, some cultural gaffes, to help them be ambassadors for future cruisers that come in. Sadly, not all incoming cruisers are ambassadors for the cruising community because like any community, there's all sorts as well. And I will feature stories of many of those people as well, because some of the episodes I've done, the most successful ones, haven't been about me. They've been about others who come to Japan and what they've observed while they've been in Japan. But now this channel is going to very much focus on my boat life, living here on a boat, no longer trying to aim across an ocean, and my writing life, particularly as I focus on resources for the Never Too Late Academy. Shall I change the name? Perhaps you can help me. It's called Pacific Solo for a very specific reason. I wanted to cross the Pacific Solo before I was 70. Most people say, just keep the name because it's your brand. And I'm not so concerned about the brand as I am concerned that I serve the community who's following me and future members of the community. So keeping Pacific Solo is an option, and probably the number one option. Here's some other names that have been suggested to me. First of all, a former colleague of mine, when she first heard about Pacific Solo, she said, well, why don't you call it Pacific Solo? because it has to do with my quirkishness. Oh, and I also considered recalling it The Misadventures of Captain Bumphead, because I'm always bumping my head, it seems. So let me know in the comment box if I should keep it as Pacific Solo, or I should call it Pacific Solo, or I should call it Japan Solo, or I should call it Pacific Slow, or call it Japan Slow. Thanks for watching, and that's the news from me. As those who follow me will know, I'm actually working on a book now, A Journey Beyond the Blue Zone, because I spent a year in the Blue Zone of Okinawa and learned so much there. So this book is about longevity. And to mark this theme of longevity, I'd like to share with you an award-winning film created by my son Mackenzie of a neighbor of ours in central Japan. She inspired me when I first met her many years ago. I won't tell her story. Watch the film. It's very short. It's about the granny of the fields, but it's called Oba-chan, which just simply means granny.
やはり先祖様の旗やで荒らしていかんと思って普通にやってる。80いくつや5か。そうですね、23に来たで60いくつになる63年ね、ここにこのうちにじーっと63年生活。何も考えてないけど悪いとかないんだわ。丈夫でおるらしいね。今まではメス一つも入れてもらったことないから。ほんと病気らしい病気したことない。だから息子たちや娘たち当てにしない。自分のやれる範囲内のことをやってる。だけどね、年食ったらね、仕事がちょっと手細なった。ちょっとおちょこちょいだよ。ゆったりしとれ。もう慌てじょ。けどこの間でも6時に来てだいぶ仕事やったもんね。やろうと思うならもう人が何と言おうとやっちまう。こちょこちょと考えとると前出てきんもんであまりそういうことにこだわらない。それにあんまり考えすぎないとごく本当に自然体でやってきたわ今まで。自分の信念でやってきてる。やっぱし自分の信念通してるね。ちょっと異国かもしれない。 自分の信念正しいことも間違ったってことはないだろうけど、それでやってきれたもん。
Well, I hope you enjoyed Granny of the Fields. Thank you again for watching. If you watched all this way through, I'm exceedingly happy and grateful. And I just want to say thank you again for sticking with me, following me. And I realize that some will unsubscribe now because it's going to be less about sailing and more about boat life and about Japan and about my writing life. And that's fine. I understand it. If you choose to stay, I'm very grateful for it.